All right, this is James Pelton, and hope everyone had a great weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. Sunday is very relaxing, but I'm ready. I woke up this morning ready to get back into crypto and ready to get back into these bloody markets that we're in right now, and just kind of see what's out there. So I love what I do. I love bringing on new teams and connecting new teams with people, and kind of seeing if there's some cohesion there to some connection that we can make. So if you are here today watching, what I need from you, it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Please hit the like button. That helps out more than you know. For YouTubers, the like button is like gold for us. It's what we want that more than we want money even. So please hit the like button. If you have questions as we're going, feel free to bring them up. Criticisms, skepticisms, we appreciate it all. I know the team would rather you bring up your hard questions and your skepticisms and things like that and answer them rather than you just keep them in your head and say, I'm not interested. So bring up anything, nothing's off the table. And let me know what you did this weekend. That's going to be the question for the day. Say in the comments below. I just like to kind of see who's here. Let me know what you did this weekend. So we're going to go ahead and bring on the team here. The project that we're talking about today is Cepheus, is how it's pronounced. So I'm excited to talk through this. Jay and Aditya, could you start by just kind of giving a quick introduction of yourself, and then we'll jump into the project.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, James. So my name is Jay. I'm one of the co-founders of Cepheus. I'm in crypto since 2013. Bought my very first Bitcoin in 2014, which disappeared thanks to Mt. Gox. Hopefully I'll get it back once. But in crypto since then, I've been advising a lot of projects, set up a business, a Dutch business. I'm from the Netherlands, by the way, which I sold. And that one became one of the biggest cryptocurrency brokers in Europe. Like I said, advise a lot of projects, help them launch their tokens, help them launch their dApps. And that's it about myself. I would say Vipin, take it away.
Right. What about you, Aditya?
Thanks, Jay. My name is Aditya. I'm from India. I'm an engineer, by the way, and have started working as a developer initially. Then in 2017, I moved into the blockchain space, did some project there as a developer, then as a lead and an architect. I architected few good projects, big project as well, where I met Jay, and then we worked on a project for my 8-9 months, and then we thought of bringing something to Web3 businesses, which would be easy, which would make them easy to launch their businesses, and that's where we formed Cepheus.
Okay, very cool. I'm excited to talk about this one. Can you go ahead and whichever one of you feels like you're more qualified, so I'll leave it up to you guys. But can you just give an elevator pitch for people, again, assuming they've never heard of you, they have no idea, this is the first time they're seeing you. How would you explain what you're doing to someone?
Yeah, good one. And I think we should definitely add the elevator pitch somewhere on the white paper or the website, right? But Cepheus is a protocol that is built with the new dNFT primitive in mind, right? So the dynamic NFT, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, hopefully. Cepheus will have its own line of dNFTs, right? So its own collections that emit a diversified basket of tokens as rewards to stakers, people who not just hold, but also stake their dNFT, one of our collections. On the platform side of things, Cepheus, lets users deploy their own dNFT collections. So, it's super easy for everyone and anyone to launch their own dNFT collections and deploy their own marketplaces and token utilities through an easy-to-use interface, which is called the Space Station. And the simplicity of the Space Station interface lowers really the barrier of, for people, for entry for new people protocols that want to build, in Web3. That's basically what we've built and what will be released in the next couple of months.
Okay, very cool. So there's kind of two parts to it, correct? There's these NFT parts, and then you're also kind of doing like a Launchpad, correct? Like an NFT Launchpad. Is that kind of what the Space Station is meant to be?
Well, yeah, it's a good question, James. So Launchpad usually raise funds for projects. At least that's how I look at Launchpads. We're still a Launchpad in a way where you could launch your own dNFT collections, but we're not raising funds for entrepreneurs or projects. So that's the difference.
Okay, so it's more like is it supposed to be more like, I don't know if you're familiar with Third Web, but they're kind of like some software that helps you get an NFT launch going. Is that kind of similar to what you guys are doing?
That's a very, very good example, James. It's they're not really a competitor, but we definitely looked at the platform and learned a few things from them that we definitely use in our ecosystem. But yeah, it's like Web3, but in a different way. They're very focused on deploying ERC20 tokens and those standards, and also deploying NFTs like static NFTs, and we're fully focused on dynamic NFTs. That's the difference. But yeah. We will provide an SDK that you can use to easily, get those things deployed, just like Web3 or Third Web. But we're taking it a bit further. Yeah, but it's a good comparison. Definitely.
Okay, very cool. I'm a
And
big fan of. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think this is the right time to explain what dynamic NFTs are, because that's what we are focused. That's what we are focused on. So, like as you mentioned, other projects as well are mostly focused on static NFTs, uh, which is kind of like it is a booming technology, and everyone is working with that, many games and those kind of stuffs. But those are static NFTs, right? What I mean by static, like that data doesn't change over the period of time. And that's what from past just to add on to what I'm saying, is like we are building this product from past 6-7 months. It's not just we started, so we have bootstrapped the product, we have learned a lot, improved a lot. So that's where when we were doing research, we got to know about this dynamic NFTs, and that's what now we have started build. We already have built the product. So these dynamic NFTs are like which evolve over the time. Dynamic means like, because as each and everyone knows, nothing in this world is static, right? Each and every industry, each and everything is dynamic. It keeps on changing, it keeps on evolving, right? And to be very very honest with you, we doesn't consider these static NFTs as a utility, like real life utility. Like obviously there are games who are using these static NFTs, but just as an avatar, right? But they don't have any actual use cases. For an example, what dynamic let me give you an example what dynamic NFTs can do, and how the market would evolve. And like it's a huge market. So for an example, if you're playing a game, right, say PUBG, or you can say Call of Duty, right? For a person, if a user kills 100 bots or people in a game, his level get up, his dynamic NFTs evolve. So for an example, after evolving, he will get a free gun, or a new skin, or maybe a level up in a game. Similarly, if you consider an example of say aviation industry, where you are booking flights from one of the airlines. And then after, say for an example, if you hold a specific dynamic NFT and you're booking from the same flight for the 10th or 11th time, after 10th or 11th time, you will automatically get a discount of like say 10% or 20% on the next flight. Similarly, if you book it for the 15th or 20th time, the discounts get further. And it's not just the discount, it is not considered as a discount, because once if you feel like I'm done, I don't want to go more with this same flight, you can transfer the dynamic NFT to someone else. So that guy or that girl will be obviously paying you, because that dynamic NFT holds that much of utility, right? It has already been like 20 flights, and they already got that much discount. So the next discount would be obviously more, or whatever it is. Like it's just the use cases. Similarly, in meteorological department, you can use it to show the weather data, like whenever it is changing, whether the temperature is changing, whether the data, whenever the say it is a rainy season, the dynamic NFT would get evolved. Whether it is like a bit of hot, the dynamic NFT will evolve, and so on and so on. I can
Yeah,
go on so on and so on.
and for the more technical people, it's good to mention, worth mentioning, I guess, that the NFTs are just like NFTs that each maintain their unique and non-fungible code, right? That's the beauty of NFTs, right? You can only hold that very specific NFT. You can split it into multiple charts, like or pieces. while also having the ability to gain additional traits, right, and functionality over time. That's like the biggest change and biggest difference. And added. Vipin just shared a few use cases, but we come up with like 10 new use cases on daily
Yeah.
basis, because you can build so many utilities and products around the NFT.
Okay,
And
very
and
cool. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt.
you're good.
And
You're
what we're
good. There, people are here to hear you, not me. So I'll let you talk.
Thank you, man. And what we are doing is we are creating a platform which will, like, from where you can build your dynamic NFTs, you can maintain it, you can mint it, you can create it, and also manage them. So on the basis of whatever traits you wanted to do, or whatever traits you wanted to put in that NFT, you can manage that. And not just as because, as you know, like, there are more and more Web2 companies wanted to move into the blockchain space, but obviously they don't wanted to create the whole infrastructure, right? They wanted to somehow interact with NFTs and those kind of stuffs, but they, because of because of the limitations and obviously the time would involvement, they don't wanted to create the whole infrastructure. So we are providing that infrastructure, which you can call as an API, so they can integrate with our API and use our platform to, like, manage the dynamicity of the NFT. So for an example, if PUBG is using our platform, they can integrate with it, and as soon as the level changes, automatically the platform will change the trait of that NFT, and that dynamic NFT would get would be able to see in the platform itself. So it is that dynamic.
Okay. No, very cool. So it's kind of like a collection of data that someone owns rather than just one data? Is that kind of a good way to think about it? As a bucket of data?
Oh, definitely. That's a very good example. Yeah, so it's not just managing like the ownership of those NFTs or minting those NFTs, but also like managing the data, the metadata. Technically speaking, that you can then update with new traits and new perks. For example, users looking at its I don't know, dNFT in the morning, and it looks nice, but the owner just made the decision to add like new perks, new traits, and he's looking at it a few hours later, like, oh wait, it just changed. I got like new perks and unlocks, and I can really use it in game now to get like I don't know, a higher level by using the NFT in game. That's what a user or a client, actually someone who's using the platform and minting those NFTs and managing those NFTs, what they can do with it. So that's making it super dynamic. And what Vipin just said is a very interesting one. So we build an API that you can use to automatically change traits of NFTs because people use them within your metaverse or a game. So that's also really making it super easy and easy to access to Web2 businesses, because it's still a very technical thing, and we basically made it easy for them to use the NFTs and mint their DNFTs through a very easy to use platform.
Okay, very cool. No, this is very interesting. So can I ask from a technical standpoint, again, you don't have to get into the code itself or anything like that, but does it function similar to static NFTs? Like, can you buy these on OpenSea the same way and transfer ownership the same way and everything like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a question that we got from a lot of Web2 businesses, at least the founders. Like, what's really the difference? Can I still use it? Can I still sell it somewhere? Yes. So it has all those static NFT benefits. It's still an NFT smart contract. It will be automatically listed on OpenSea once you mint those DNFTs. But it just gives you more functionality. You can change the metadata. You can update it. So it only has benefits and not really downsides. If you would compare them, the DNFTs with normal static NFTs.
Okay, very cool. Would there be a reason to use static NFTs anymore if these are, I mean, it just seems like these are better. Why would people still use static NFTs at all?
because people don't know it yet,
Okay.
and
Just
that's
making
what
sure I wasn't missing
that,
something big there. Very
yeah,
cool.
because
Well,
yeah because right now that's what we are trying to focus on, like, because people don't know it yet, because it just launched a year back or so something, and not like very few companies who have tried to implement it. But we are already, because as I mentioned, we have been building the platform, so we already have tested a prototype version with us. It's not just like we will be starting after we raised. So we already like product in the development phase. And we have a team of like 15 members, I forgot to mention earlier. So we have been like building a like continuously as we speak.
Okay, very cool. So I want to talk first about the NFTs that you're offering, and then I do want to talk more about the space station because again, I think one of the things I want to do is help get people into the industry, and so I think tools that make it easier for people to get into the industry are something I'm really passionate about. So I do want to ask a lot about that, but let's talk about the NFTs first. So are your NFTs that you're offering, are they dynamic NFTs, and do you want to kind of explain how they work?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. It would be something like, minting your static NFTs and promoting the NFTs. There will be a very funny one, but yeah, they're
Right.
all dynamic, right? So we minted the Astrolist, so that contract is deployed like 2 weeks ago. So you can mint those Astrolists like astronauts, really. They're dynamic. The Vega series and region will be also dynamics, and dynamic, like what it really means on our platform, within our ecosystem, is that the more you use the dNFTs on our platform, the more activity, the more participation, the more perks you'll get and the more rewards you'll earn over time. So that's making it dynamic. So one of the use cases would be, I guess, governance. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vipin. I think that's a very interesting one. So if you vote on a proposal, because obviously you need to hold a dNFT, right? If you don't have a dNFT, you cannot really vote. So that unlocks like the governance perk. It will allow you to vote on proposals, and once you vote on a proposal, it will be registered in our system. You'll get like additional unlocks, additional perks, assigned to your dNFT that can be seen on your wallet and can be seen on the platform. So that's one of the utilities that we provide, that makes it easy for people to use the NFT and really get something for using it within the ecosystem.
Okay, very
And
cool. Are these available to mint right now, or is this upcoming, or what's the launch status on these?
so we are launching it on 14th of December, 6 p.m. UTC. That's our pre-sale date. And am I audible?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. We would be launching on 14th of December, 6 p.m. UTC. And as Jay mentioned, so these are 4 dynamic NFTs, and each dynamic NFTs has different utilities. So obviously, the costliest one, Vega, has all the utilities. Sirius is after that, and then the regional one. So apart from like generally what these dynamic NFTs will obviously give you rewards, because obviously each and everyone, if it is a normal user, they all they care about is right when I'm getting my money back, right? So we have a decent ROI, which is competitive obviously, but it's not just as like we are the users, the stakers will only on not only will be getting the Cepheus reward, but also the basket of tokens from different projects. So for an example, the ROI which we have mentioned is on the basis of Cepheus report, but not on the basis of the rewards they would be getting. So for an example, the more and more people use our platform, they will obviously paying a fees for us to us for using our platform, and that fees, some portion of that fees would be used to purchase this token and distribute it into the to the dynamic NFT holders. And that's not just it, because we are not selling like thousands and 10,000s of dynamic NFT. It's just a collection of 1400 NFT. We won't be creating more of that, because we just to forgot to mention that we have in-house financial advisor who made our tokenomics and all the stuffs. So that's why we had that number, so that we cannot increase that, because if we do that, we won't be able to sustain. And that's what we are focused on. We are like really focused on sustainable products, so that we can give these dynamic NFT holders a reward for next 2 3 maybe 4 years, and maybe more. So that is what we are focusing, and that's what we try target on. So these are like only 1400 NFTs, 500 and 400 each. So and as you can see the numbers of things which each and every utility has. I just forgot to mention there is one very interesting thing, which is a reward from algo funds. So I don't know how many of you knows what algo trading is. So in short, like we will be partnering with we already have one connection with one of the algo trading firm from US. So which will help the users or the dynamic NFT holders to trade their tokens in a better way, so that they maximize their profits. So this is like this is one of the major advantage of having Vega, because obviously that won't be possible for other dynamic NFT holders. This is just for Vega, and then the things decreases, like the utility decreases as the price decreases of our dynamic NFTs.
Okay. Yeah, no, thanks for clarifying that. I was wondering algo fund. So yeah, no, that makes sense. So is the token launched already, the pre-sale, or is that upcoming as well?
Well, I said yes, but it's not launched yet. So we should really update the one pager, because the NFT pre-sale, the third week of November, that's also a date which we couldn't meet, because that's planned for the 14th, like Vipin just said. But this will be updated, I guess, within the next couple of days. So the mint date, the pre-sale for the actually what you just said, Vipin, that all the NFTs will be available on the 14th. It's good to mention that the Astro lists are already available, right? So you can mint those Astro lists. It's good. I think it's worth mentioning that you need to hold an Astro list to be able to participate in the NFT pre-sale, where you can buy the Vega series or retail, because it's a pre-sale, right? The public sale that will start, I believe, on Sunday, 6 p.m. UTC. That will be open for everyone, right? Also for people who don't hold an Astro list, but the price will be slightly higher, because the pricing that we're currently looking at is, the pricing for people who hold an Astro list. But in a public sale, the Vega would cost 5K, and the series would cost 2.5K. So there's a difference. And what Vipin just said. So beside those utilities, you get rewards. I'm not sure if we mentioned how that diversified basket would work, right? So you get Cepheus tokens in rewards, but also a basket with different tokens from projects that use our platform to mint their dNFTs. And obviously they have to pay for it. They have to pay a fee, and they can choose to pay partly with their own token, which will be sent to that staking pool, which can be claimed by people holding a dNFT.
Okay. Okay, no, very cool. Yeah, I'd like to walk through kind of all because revenue streams, in this type of market, that's everybody sees, 240-day ROI, and they say, but how's it going to happen? So I definitely want to walk through that. By the way, if you have questions, please do ask, and I'll bring them up here when we're talking about that part. But just to kind of clarify, you get the astronaut NFT, which is free. And then you get one of the other ones, and that gives you access to the private sale.
Exactly. The thing that we need to mention is that the Astro list, it used to be free for the very first minters, basically. We increased the price from 50 to 100 USDT. So that one costs 100 USDT, and it will give you a discount of 500 for both the Vega and the Sirius. That's why it says value $500.
Gotcha. So yeah, it gives you a discount on these two, but costs 100 USDT now.
That's correct, yeah.
And I totally get missing the dates here. I appreciate that you put a better estimate. Usually people just put Q4, and then it's kind of, well, whenever it happens to work out. So no, I totally get that.
Actually, we were trying to launch at the same time, but due to that FTX things happened and those kind of stuff. Because we, as I mentioned, like we are already ready with the development and the platform, but the issue at that time when we were about to launch, that FTX things happened and multiple exchanges got issues. So that's why we delayed a launch by 3 weeks, and that's why we are launching on 14th.
Wait, what happened with FTX? I'm not familiar. No, I'm just kidding. I know what happened. just kidding. Okay, and AJ wanted to know, is seed round different from pre-sale, and is seed round already done?
Yeah, good question. So obviously we will be also selling our tokens in different rounds. Seed round would be the very first round. Then we've got the strategic, private, and public round. So that's different. That's in those rounds you can purchase tokens. Seed round is almost done. It's good to mention that we initially started with the NFT minting round, right? So that one is planned for the 14th, And then the next phase will be all about selling our tokens and getting our tokens on the market, at liquidity and all that. So seed is almost done. We've got a few investors who are sitting, next to us around the round table. That's very excited, even in this market, because not a lot of VCs are really interested in investing in projects, right? I mean, they're very careful, which makes sense, which is good, I think. That's also one of the reasons why we had to, delay the token launch, which was originally planned for the second week of December. So right now, fully focused on selling the NFTs. By the way, the new roadmap will be launched tomorrow. So really looking forward to releasing the roadmap. I'm not sure if you looked at it, but it's pretty simple, not very detailed. So that will be released tomorrow. And that will be the moment where we'll be also like setting deadlines. Like at that moment, we will release the platform. That's the moment where you can actually stake your NFTs and start earning and start getting your rewards.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so I'd like to talk about the rewards here now. Yeah, and if anybody has any more questions, we can come back to this. Oh, one question I did have before we left. What's the advantage to getting in pre-sale?
Yeah, so it's basically the price. So you'll get $500 discount on both Figa and Sirius if you hold an escrow list.
Okay, just want to make sure because yeah, go ahead.
And also to add that we only have 1400 NFTs. So and these dynamic NFTs won't be added more. Like it won't be minted more. So that's why like if you're not able to participate in pre-sale or public one, because there might be a chance that we sold out. So that's the reason like it is important to be participate in the pre-sale itself.
Okay, gotcha. Let's go through the rewards, because again, that's what people are going to want to know is, are we sure we're going to get our money back? Are we sure we're going to get ROI? So we're paying out in CEPH tokens. Do you want to talk about the utility behind the CEPH token?
Yeah, Vipin, take it away.
Sure. So CEPH token is a utility token. It's just not the token, because first, obviously, you would receive like whoever holds our dynamic NFTs would be able to receive the rewards in Cepheus token. Apart from that, this token would be used each and everywhere on our platform. So the space station would be like people can use to pay via Cepheus token, so that they get a discount on the price, or they can pay with stable coins as well. Apart from that, this token would be used for governance as a voting system, and also this token would be used for the algo trading funds as well. So each and everywhere on our platform, this token would be used as a utility, and these token would be used also for the NFT builder platform as well, which I just mentioned. So each and everywhere, like these tokens would be utilized, and that's why we are calling it as a utility token, and not just a token which is giving rewards.
Okay, so I like this right off the bat. There's a revenue stream already. So this is not just a useless token that's like, hey, hopefully it goes up, but this is going to be people who want to use the space station. They'll get a discount if they're using the CEPH token. So it would make sense that will put some buy pressure on the CEPH token, which will appreciate the value. So like to see that right off the bat. Do you want to go through the yield farming, or do you want to touch on that a little bit more?
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that, it's super important to have like a revenue stream, right? Like a revenue inflow from different systems or different products. I mean, as a Web3 project, I think that's one of the, most important challenges that you need to like, battle with and also conquer, right? Like having a revenue stream. Otherwise, it's just raising funds to, develop the ecosystem, develop the products, but if nothing is coming in, you can't really maintain, a sustainable ecosystem where you could actually meet the ROI or, pay people rewards for, contributing or using the dNFTs. So yeah, that's super important. And, space station, that will be a very, very important revenue stream where like you just said, where people could use Cepheus tokens, to get a nice discount on using the services, deploying token utilities and so forth. But there's way more than just a space station. So the space station is a product that will be available on the platform, right? So people can use it. The NFT holders can use it. B2B can use it. Clients can use it. Entrepreneurs and so on. And that will lead to revenue stream. But we've got also like recurring payments. So One of the examples, and by the way, this will be put on the white paper. I guess actually, I think it will be today, right, Vipin?
Yeah.
I know we released an article where we put all those different revenue streams on a page. But basically, long story short, we will have recurring payments and one-time payments, right? So, for instance, if you deploy a staking solution through the space station, there will be like a one-time payment because we deploy those contracts, which are audited, by the way, for you, and you can use them. But recurring payments are way more interesting because that's the only way how you can survive a bearish market. Because in a bearish market like now, people are not really willing to pay $1,000 to get like a staking product live, right? So the recurring payments is super important, and the API, that can be used to mint the NFTs, manage the metadata of those NFTs in an automated way. That's why people should use an API, and by using the API, they basically either pay by like using a monthly subscription or pay per use. So every time they send us a call, like, hey, I want to change the metadata of NFT, I don't know, with IDs like 10 from that specific collection, they'll pay for that request, and that's like an ongoing thing, which will lead to like a nice flow of revenue, not just like monthly or every few days, but really on daily basis, and that will fill like the staking pool, and that's the only way how we can meet the ROI requirements, which is paying people for what they bought, which is basically the NFT from one of our collections.
Okay, very good. Can
And
you give kind of a rest?
James,
Yeah,
just
go
to
no,
add
go
what
ahead. Aditya.
on what Jay mentioned, because it might look different what we actually trying to build. So what Jay meant is like they're gonna call API. They want, so it's the platform, but they would be able to use by themselves itself. They don't need ourselves, right? It's just what he meant is like, because they would be calling the API, so they would be calling our backend, not calling us like as a team or our developers. So they would be calling our backend, so they can manage each and everything from there itself. They don't need our help, so the platform would be that much easy to manage that everything can be done without any technical understanding. They can just manage it with normal stuffs.
Okay, no, very good. Yeah, that would be a bummer if they had to get in touch with you for every change they wanted to make. Wouldn't be very dynamic.
Very expensive as well.
Very expensive as well. Could you give us a rough estimate of like how much that will cost to use the space station in that way, like the monthly fee that projects will be using? I know it's going to vary drastically for different things, but maybe just kind of a rough estimate. Are we talking $100 a month? Are we talking $1 million a month? Or just kind of what's the range we're looking at?
Yeah, that's a very good one. We have had many discussions about pricing, but what we are very focused on is to really lower the entry level. Like to mint your NFT collections. Change the data, make it super easy, and also lower the price in a way where it's like accessible to everyone, and not really founders who raise millions, right? Like ask people to pay like 3, 4, 5K, but really like very low amounts, because we do believe that the market is huge. We do see a lot of use cases. We're speaking with founders who are very interested in using the platform and mint their own NFTs and make use of it. So we truly believe that we'll have like a lot of customers, and because we will onboard a lot of customers and clients, we can lower the price of those utilities and those products that we'll offer through the space station. So to give like an estimation, like using the API, sending a few calls every day, that will cost you maybe $100 a month. Minting your DNFT collection, not so sure about that one, but it won't be much.
Okay. Nope. Very good. That's kind of just what I was wanting to know, is a rough ballpark. I understand that the pricing model is going to vary depending on, if I make a home NFT collection, it's obviously going to be cheaper than if, Alex Becker is using his NFT collection and making 1 million calls a day or whatever. So totally get that. Could you talk a little bit? So we got the CEPH token. That's going to be revenue coming in mostly from the space station usage. So I definitely want to spend some good time on the space station, but let's briefly go through these other revenue streams. You just want to talk through the yield farming aspect of it?
Yep. Yeah, so that's what Fipin just explained. So we do have a good partnership with an algo fund. The yield farming is a different thing. So that's like fully decentralized, right? There are a lot of aggregators that you can use to put some liquidity in a liquidity pool and get some yields for it. We have a pretty advanced system, which is not just like for people who are a bit more technical, like an entry, like a proxy contract that you can use to automatically mint contracts, yield contracts, and like deposit funds in all those aggregators and get some rewards for it. It will be a bit more complex, at least technically speaking, but for the user it's just super easy to use and get yields, and yeah, basically deposit funds in those yield programs and yield contracts and get some APY for it basically. But it's not like there's some DeFi dApps and like yield programs where you can get like 100% of API. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for very stable contracts and DeFi apps such as Uniswap, which is a very stable one. You can still get like a few percent every year. But yeah, will be a easy a place where you can easily fund those contracts, get an APY, and basically claim all those rewards from a single place. That will be the yield program that we'll provide. It's not very, it's not like like a new technology, but we're making it super easy for people to make use of it, because it can be quite technical, and we need to like approve a lot of contracts and figure out a way to get your tokens in those different yield programs, and it will be a single place where you can manage those things.
Okay, so will it be kind of a platform similar to like Beefy or Yield Wolf or one of those where it has a list of here's different yield farming things, and there's a deposit fee and a withdrawal fee, kind of that model?
Exactly. Yep.
James, just to mention these things which we are reading, like it's a it's a reward basket. For an example, whatever the dynamic NFT holders get, they will be getting all these things. This is not you can say utility would be like space, like when we come down under the space station, decentralized applications and use cases. So those kind of are actually our revenue streams, and these are a part of sort of revenue stream, because obviously these would be indirectly be a revenue stream, but the direct revenue stream would be just mentioned about space station, where we will be having one time fees and also recurring fees. So those kind of things are our mainly, you can say, revenue streams, and these are diversified basket of rewards. So CEPH token, real farming, secondary reward, angel investment fund, and algo trading pools. All these
Gotcha.
are sort of.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think the rest, they're kind of self-explanatory, so we probably don't need to go through all of them. But yeah, so we got the space station. This is probably going to be the main one. Then we're going to have some yield farming. Obviously, when people sell NFTs, that's going to bring in some revenue that you're going to be putting into the staking pool, I assume, as part of the rewards.
Yes.
And then some angel investing into various projects. Is that going to be voted on, or just kind of if you guys see things, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, like we won't build a DAO, but this will be part of the governance, right? So if there's a cool project, it could be a founder who minted his very first NFT collection through the space station, which we find very interesting, or someone from the community. So that person or us could create a proposal like, hey, this project is very interesting. Perhaps we should look into making an investment as a community, and then you can participate in that fund and be part of that investment. Technically speaking, it will be a DAO, but like it will be a DAO as like Cepheus won't be a DAO, but it's more like a product of it basically. So people can easily invest in those projects and vote on those proposals, and I think that will be a very interesting one because it will also make our users engage with that project. So they use our platform, they use the space station, and people will be also interested to know more about the project and perhaps also invest in the project.
Okay, very good. And then we talked about the algorithmic trading pool already, so we can probably skip that part. So there's where the rewards come from. Now let's talk about the space station, because I think this will probably be what makes or breaks the project, right? If the space station, if nobody wants to use it and it's terrible, then probably not going to be a lot of rewards coming in. So I think this is a make or break. Is this going to be like a no code solution, or is it more of a software development kit, or a combination, or how does that work?
Okay. Jill, shall I explain?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So so this is why we started CPS first of all. So because we are in 2022, and like we still think that it's really hard for any web3 business or an entrepreneur to build their product, because first of all they require a huge team, which is really hard to find, because we also also build our own team. That's why we know it's really hard to find developers. It's really hard to find leads, architects, and also like it requires a lot of time. So that's where we would think like it shouldn't be that difficult, because uh, any web3 business who wanted to build anything, if they want, right, if they have an investment, obviously they would need vesting platform, right? They would, because their tokens would be vested. If obviously once they launch, because they would be launching their token itself, so they would need obviously token contracts, right? And once they launch their token, obviously they would need staking rewards too, so that the token is more and more stable. So, and these utilities, to be very frank with you, to build this utility takes at least 2 to 3 months, and it is a lot of time, right? And a lot of developers, and it takes a lot of time and also money. So that's what we are trying to. It's not just these utilities, there will be more utilities as well, but these are just an example to clear you what we are trying to build. So we already had made an interface which would be so easy to deploy that any person who wanted to launch their any specific utility, they can just come to our platform and launch with a single click. They don't need any technical understanding, they don't need to hire any developer or a team, because what we think is like staking, vesting, and these utilities are pretty common. They don't need to, don't need to hire developers or team to build these utility. You can actually focus on creating what you actually wanted to focus, right? What your main goal is, and these utility you can deploy with our platform. So it may be staking, vesting, token utilities, NFT utilities, NFT smart, like marketplaces, even your like swap, if you wanted to have it, dexes, trading boards, these kind of things. Each and everything can be, you can say, you can create with our platform without any technical understanding or like hiring a team.
Yeah. And long story short, like you said, James, it would be a no code solution. So, you don't need to look for a Solidity developer and pay that person like 40K to develop your staking solution. About like if we think about reinventing the wheel, like staking has been reinvented like thousands of times, right? Like it's quite similar, to someone else taking solution, but a little bit different. And also you need to pay for like audits, and that will be all done for you. So you pay either you make recurring payments or pay just one time fee, get your staking solution deployed and you can use it. You don't need any technical knowledge. You can manage the staking pools and all that via the interface. So it's very easy to use. And there's not really a solution where they can really trust and rely on. I mean, there are some DeFi solutions, but like the team is not doxed, there's not really a company making sure that everything works as expected, like no guarantees and all that. And that's a big issue that we solved. And yeah, like you said, it's definitely an important one, because it will lead to and will generate revenue. That's what we need to build that sustainable business, that's a sustainable ecosystem. And we just mentioned a few utilities that you can deploy via the space station, but yeah, we're also partnering with other Web3 businesses that provide those solutions, Web3 solutions that we can easily integrate with. So you can deploy their solutions to our interface and basically use all the solutions from partners, but also solutions we develop through a single interface, making it very easy actually.
Yes.
And just to mention, like we forgot to mention, as like we have direct connections with Polygon as well. So we like they also like told us that they would be helping us with the technical stuffs. So we would also be integrating with their solutions as well, the Polygon solution. So we know them directly, that we know them, their product team, and we are in touch with them. So we would be like, initially we'll be launching on Ethereum, but we are for sure like would be launching on Polygon as well, because we truly believe them.
Okay. Do you know? Do you guys know when this will be kind of a usable thing? Do you have kind of a rough timeline? Any screenshots or anything yet, or are we still kind of very early?
Oh yes,
No,
good question. So actually, we recorded the video of the entire platform where you can, stake your dNFTs, participate in the governance system, but also use the space station to deploy the solutions. I think it will be out there in a few days, but it will be live in January. And we will gradually, enable those solutions. So we'll start with just 3 solutions and then gradually add more solutions to it. So in January it will be live. There will be a video out there this week, so keep an eye on the announcement channel. It will be very fun, and what we just said, it's super easy to use, and you'll figure it out yourself. But by looking at the video, it's what we think a game changer, and it's. I'm not even talking about like minting your DNFTs and managing the data. That's super easy too.
Okay, very cool. A couple questions I have just from my experience with Third Web. And I just these can either be suggestions or maybe you've already thought of it and have solutions in place. But when people are going to launch, one big problem is artwork. Do you guys have any resources to help people on the artwork side of things? Because like I'm a programmer, so I'm fine with the SDK, but then they're like, oh, you have to upload a JPEG, and I'm like, well, I don't have anything there, so I have to go find an artist. Any solutions to help with that?
Oh, that's a very good question. I don't think we released anything about it yet. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool update to share during this AMA VIPin. But like either you hire someone who will design the artwork for you, or you provide a service where you can like design artwork yourself by adding different images. And so like technically speaking, it will be a system where you can like add different layers. Like you could have like a base image, and then you can like add traits to it, like different layers to build that artwork. But we also thought about building a community with artists that you can like connect to your project and either hire them or somehow ask them to work for you and make the artwork for you. So you don't need to like look for people on the internet, but there's already a trusted community. So I really like that suggestion. Yeah, we got that question a few times now, and it made us realize that you really like, as a DNFT collection owner, you really want just one place to get all those things done for you basically. And yeah, so it's a very good suggestion. Thanks, James, I like it.
Yeah, maybe like a preferred artists or something like that, where people, because what I had to do is I had to tweet, hey, any NFT artists out there, and then I got all these DMs. Then you have to weed through who's good, who's not, how much are you going to charge. And then the other experience I've had with Third Web is will it be possible for people to get this launched with zero programming experience? Because like on Third Web, you still have to do a landing page, and there's still other things that you have to kind of know programming a little bit even to get that going. Are you kind of solving that problem?
Zero.
Yeah, zero. Yeah, so obviously you need to connect your wallet, because that's the only way how you can be really the owner of that data. So the contract, for technical people, the NFT contract will be deployed, but you remain ownership. We're not the owner of that one, right? So you still need a wallet with funds to pay the gas fees, but that's all you need. Like the entire interface, like all the settings, all the features can be enabled and disabled via our interface. You don't really need to go to like Etherscan, where you usually make those calls, to the contract. Like that's all being done via the interface. So to answer your question, yeah, you don't need technical knowledge.
And just to add on to what Jay mentioned, it would be that much like no code that, for an example, if you are a developer, right? For an example, if you need a token contract, just in case. So obviously there would be some write functions as well, which you might need to change a bit, and that's what also like can be done with our interface itself. You don't need to go to Etherscan or BSScan or wherever. right, to manage the data as well. So each and everything is all accompanied into our interface, which we already have built it. So, and it doesn't take a single code, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Oof, I love it. I love it. Hey, when this gets up and running and going, I definitely either want to have you back or I just want to walk through it for people because this is again, I've been building my own NFT collections and I'm a programmer and it's not like terribly difficult, but it is a pain. Like like you said, it should be very easy. We're all doing the exact same thing, like just NFT simple single staking or something like that. That should take 5 seconds, in my opinion. So I love that you guys are doing this. Really excited about it. Can you and then maybe just can you go through some of these use cases just to kind of get people's mind spinning? I mean, something like this, if you're in the audience right now, you can launch your own NFT collection. You don't need to be able to find a Solidity programmer. You don't have to go find all those things. So, get your brains going about, hey, what kind of thing could I do? Do you want to talk through some of the use cases that you've heard people wanting to do?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what we're trying to achieve with the space station is to build like a sort of pipeline with different utilities where people can choose from and deploy. I mean, not just staking, but really like if there's someone who wants to launch his, token project and they still need to like deploy the token, it can be done, right? Usually those tokens from seed sales and private sales will be vested. So you can, deploy your vesting solution. Usually once, project launch the token, they want a staking solution, deploy a staking solution, get your dNFT collection deployed through our interface. Like all those steps, well, pretty common steps, right? If you think about it, like everyone has its token. Everyone, at least people who want to raise funds, need a vesting solution. And people like to, incentivize people for locking up the tokens. So they're looking for someone to build that staking solution. And it can be all deployed via a single interface. And I think that's really a game changer. So we're really looking for people, not just post DG, but also pre DG, to make their lives so much easier. And what you just said, which I really like, James, is like you can very easily launch your dNFT collection, and it's just like we say dynamic NFTs, but it can be also just an NFT. Like if you just want your NFT collection out there, it can be done. Like if you don't want to make it dynamic, just just get that image or generate hundreds of images. Let us upload it to to a storage. Set your URI and all that. That can be done, and it's just there as a static NFT collection. But it's super easy, and if you think about it, like if you really want to use and leverage the dynamic NFT technology, like please think about use cases that we didn't really thought of. Like we will share a list with use cases that we came up with next week, I believe. But if you do have like awesome use cases, let us know, because it's so dynamic, but it's also unlocking so many use cases. Like it's crazy. It's really crazy. So let us know what you think, and keen to add those use cases to our white paper, and really tell people about your ideas, why people should use dynamic NFTs, and that will be.
I think we just missed. I think recently Starbucks is kind of doing that. Like they are using, they are not using dynamic NFTs, but sort of a dynamicity in their on their card. So, for an example, if you have like purchased some amount of coffees with them, the card upgrades. It's a similar what we are trying to achieve. Like your card would upgrade it and will give you more discounts and discounts. So like there are multiple use cases. It can be used in e-commerce as well for like tracking delivery positions, like wherever it is, whether it is in transit or delivered to the customer or with the service representative. So it has hundreds of use cases, whatever you think of.
Okay, very cool. And just a marketing suggestion. Again, I'm just throwing it out there. You can take it, you can throw it back, you can say, no, we don't like that idea. But from my perspective, I think the space station should be like the focus of what everything you're doing, because like we see so many NFT collections and just like people come and say, oh, earn through the, an NFT. And it's like, well, we've seen that before. But I think the space station is really like the unique thing. Like for me, I would start with this, and then it's like, oh, well, how can I get involved with that? And then it's, oh, well, you can buy these NFTs. That'll get you some of the revenue from that. So from a marketing standpoint, that's what I would recommend. I think that would build more excitement, because I know when I get kind of like giddy about something that, oh, this is good. And when you talk about just making it easy for people to launch their NFTs, I think that's going to be huge for the industry. And Third Web is like part of the way there, but not all the way. And another thing I really like about something like this too is, as a programmer, when you are launching your own code, every time you launch code, you leave holes for exploits and all these bugs and things like that. But if you can use someone else's code, an SDK or something like that, then you know the bugs have been worked out, the exploits have been patched, and you know, hey, I can just click a few buttons and I'm good to go. And I would love, if this was available right now, I would buy it today. So
thanks, James. I really like it, and I do really appreciate your feedback. I do agree with you, because initially we were very focused on building a ecosystem where people would buy our dNFTs and get rewards for doing so, and then we were looking for ways to generate revenue, and then we figured out, like, holy ass, there is a need for this, build this platform where it's so easy to get those solutions deployed. So I do agree with you. I can tell you that it will have a more prominent role on the website this week. It will be definitely updated. That's great feedback.
Yeah, no problem. And then a couple questions from the audience. Then we'll do call to action, and then we'll kind of call it a day. So this has been great, very, very educational. Aaron would like to know, how do you guard against rug pullers? So do you have anything any plans in place for if people start using your platform to make these NFT collections, they collect money and then they just disappear? Are you guys going to be putting anything in place against that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So we will have our own dNFT marketplace where these, dNFT collections will be automatically listed, but not really automatically, because we will also vet projects, right? Like, if it's a meme project, we'll definitely like label it as in it's not vetted by us. So really be careful, but anything could really happen. They can change the metadata of those dNFTs. They can do whatever they want with it, basically. But yeah, so we will definitely vet those projects and label them if it's really legit, and if we have like an official partnership with them. So hopefully that will help. But ultimately, like, anyone could mint their dNFT collection. So it's also a little bit of like responsibility for the user, like, hey, what is this dNFT collection all about, and do they really offer utilities around those dNFTs, and if so, like, how does it work? Is it team docs? But we do what we can to really warn people about whether it's vetted or not. I mean, we can do what we can, but sometimes we can also like make mistakes, so it's not like a guarantee. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely important for us, right, to get as much as vetted and legitimate projects on our ecosystem, our platform, as we can. So definitely, it's a good question, Aaron. I also saw a message from Aaron about Aditya, that he knows someone who is who he fully trusts. I'm not sure if you saw that message, but yeah, good stuff, Aaron. Thanks.
Yes. And then last question from Aaron, and then we'll kind of wrap up here. And this is a good question too. If you create your project through Cepheus Cloud, and then if maybe Cepheus Cloud goes under, they dissolve the business or something like that, how does that affect the projects created there?
Yeah. Very, very good question. We actually got this question a few times now during AMAs, and we made a note of it. It will be explained on the white paper, because it's a very good one, Aaron. Thanks for that. So basically what happens if you deploy a dNFT collection, you remain ownership. So you are the owner of that contract, right? So we cannot really interfere with, I don't know, like minting, additional amount of tokens, NFT tokens and all that. You remain ownership. That's one. Secondly, if you choose to change the metadata off chain, because it's good to know that we have like two variants. So either you deploy the NFT collection and make use of IPFS to store your images and metadata, or you choose the more off-chain variant where we own the storage, the bucket in AWS, where we put the metadata and images and all that to speed up things, to basically increase the performance, because IPFS can be slow sometimes, especially if you use it on your own DApp. Anyway, if you go for that path, I mean, we do make backups. You can make an export of all the metadata files and images whenever you want, basically to make sure that if AWS shuts down or we got hacked, hopefully that will never happen. But if anything goes wrong, you still own the data and you can easily change the storage. You know about it, James, the URI basically to point like to a different storage. So you still got all the metadata and images of those NFTs.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it's basically all an NFT is a pointer, pretty much. So yeah, no,
Yep.
makes a lot of sense. Okay, very cool. So we'll close with I just made a note to follow up with you guys in like a month or so because I really like
sure.
this project and I have so many NFT ideas, basically just fundraisers for different things. And if it was easier to make an NFT collection, I'd be probably doing one a day. So really excited about this. Could you kind of close us with calls to action for people? So join Discord if you have more questions. But can you remind us again about when they can mint NFTs and the different dates for that, and then we'll close?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so we'll have our pre-mint event the 14th of December, and basically in 2 days. Depends where you come from, but CST time, 2 days, 6 p.m. UTC. Yeah, please let us know if you do have questions. Join us on Discord or Telegram. Always keen to listen to feedback, to new ideas and answer every question that you might have. Yeah, to finish off with I really enjoyed the AMA, James. Thanks for hosting it. It was a great opportunity to talk about the project, and also to get some nice suggestions from you and from your community. We'll definitely look at the questions from the different channels and answer wherever we can. If you don't have an answer, we'll figure it out and put it on the white paper, which will be, by the way, updated in about 2 days. So keep an eye on that. The roadmap will be updated. We will answer some questions from James. I will definitely update the white paper, and it was a pleasure being here. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I want my audience too to see the power of when you get into projects early, you can kind of help shape the project going forward. Like when projects are in startup mode, they're not totally set on what they're doing yet. They're just getting started. So if you see something, oh, it should be this way, a lot of times people just say, I don't want to get involved. It should be this way. The team would love to hear that. They would love to hear you come on and say, hey, my experience starting an NFT collection is the artwork was really difficult. Like that's why I wouldn't start 50 NFT collections. It's because of artwork. So go in, give feedback, and you can help kind of shape the project going forward. So very cool. Well, audience, I appreciate you guys. Again, I can't do AMAs unless you guys come and watch. So please keep doing it. I appreciate it. Please hit like on your way out. And Jay and Adit, yep, thank you guys for coming on, talking through your project. Shoot me a message when the launch is, and I'll make sure to get tweets out and just say, hey, remember we did an AMA. It's going now. So make sure to stay in touch with me. But yeah, really like the direction this is going. So hope to help you along as much as I can.
Likewise. Thank you, James. Have a good one, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.